Good afternoon and welcome to our meeting for 1852. Mr. Scambra Brian is having a little bit delayed traffic, but he's gonna be here as soon as possible. So he asked me to please to start the meeting and we're gonna proceed with that. We do have a quorum. October 11, 2022, 1852 Foundation Board of Directors Annual Meeting. Item 1.1, call the meeting to order. Abby will read the sentence on the public contest. Back to you, Abby.
Thank you. Board meeting protocols. The safety and decorum of the school board meetings are important to Stockton Unified School District and the community. SUSD promotes the public's right to free speech, and we want to make sure that all community members, parents, and students are able to participate in a safe environment. We want to ensure all community members have a seat during the board meeting. We will have the maximum number of chairs allowed per Fire Code 132. We ask that members of the public do not stand along the side of walls or block the walkway. Anyone standing up during the board meeting will be asked to take a seat. If they do not comply, they will be asked to leave. Any accredited news media representative who is standing will have a press credential clearly visible. The podium is positioned in front of the first row of chairs. No one other than the person who is speaking may be at the podium except for a guardian, administrator, or translator. For safety, people may not line up behind the speaker to wait their turn. We want to give the person at the podium the time and respect they deserve. Each speaker will be allowed 3 minutes. Attendees are not allowed to enter the area past the podium where board members are seating. No profanity or obscenity. During the board meeting, if there is disruption, the board president or designee will give a verbal warning to the person or persons causing the disruption. If the disruption continues, after the verbal warning, the individual will be asked to leave or be removed from the premises for the remainder of the board meeting. After the board meeting is concluded, we ask the community to clear the lobby area in a respectful manner. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Abby. Item 1.2, roll call by Abby. Back to you.
President Cecilia Mendez,
Present.
Vice President Zulueta, absent. Clerk Rico,
Present.
Trustee Maria Mendez,
Present.
Trustee Avalar is absent. Trustee McBrien is currently absent. Trustee Flores
Trustee Flores present.
and Interim Superintendent Dr. Tracy Miller.
Present.
Thank you. Back to you, President Mendez.
Thank you, Ms. Abby. Item 1.3, pledge of allegiance to the flag by Willie Gutierrez, Director of Fiscal Service. Back to you, sir, and please come to the podium. Thank you.
And we'll start. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much, Mr. Willie Gutierrez, Director of Fiscal Services. Now we go to item 1.4, oral suggestions. Yvette will read the number of the public comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President. At this time, we have no comment cards. Back to you.
Thank you. Now we go to item 2.1, approval of October 7, 2021, 1852 Foundation Board of Director Annual Meetings minutes. I need a first and a second.
Motion. Second.
We have a first and a second. Any discussion? Everybody to agree? Say aye.
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 Aye. Dr. Miller, you're also, because you're part of the board of directors, you
I'm
need,
sorry.
no, because it's actually, you'll be able to vote on this
Okay.
as well. Thank you.
Aye.
Thank you.
And I'm going to abstain.
We have 1, 2, 3, 4 yes, and 1 abstain. Motion pass.
So, Madam President,
Yes,
the Foundation Board consists of 8 members. It requires 5 votes to pass. So this motion did not pass because there
okay.
are only 4 votes.
Yeah, and I don't know where my colleagues are. I don't know if they're in the way. Do you guys want to wait a little bit? Yes, it failed.
Madam President,
Tersuleta is here. Can I give him a minute to sit down? Lepton? He vote yes? If you can be so kind to say it in the microphone, we appreciate it.
My vote is yes. This is Vice President Zulueta.
Mr. Lepton?
yes, thank you. I mean, that's fine. So the motion passes.
Thank you. Motion pass. We have item 2.2, 1852 Foundation Budget Update, and this is going to be given by Mr. Willie Gutierrez, Director of Fiscal Services. Back to you, sir, and welcome to come in here to front of the podium. Thank you, sir. Welcome.
Thank you. So there's going to be a presentation that's going to be on the screen here shortly. First slide, please. So this report, we started with this. This is an update to the previous executive committee meeting report that was held on September 23rd, 2022. That meeting updated the budget and provided just an update through 6/30/2022. This particular report is through September 30th, 2022. And this first slide shows the financial statement position of the 1852 Foundation at this point in time. The amount of cash is available is 148,210, and there's cash with fiscal agency of 62,000. And so it provides a total amount of $210,610. And we have available foundation award, and we have undesignated amounts that have been received of 205, which in totaling 4,930 of additional grant awards that are sitting there, totaling 210,000. Basically, from as a quick update from 6/30 2021 to 6/30/2022, that particular year, and through today, actually through 9/30/2022, has been some donations that have been received that has pretty much added up to the 148,000. As we started 6/30/2021, there was approximately $17,000 available in cash at that point in time. Then a large donation was received from Mark Hageman State of 114,000. We recently received through 9/30/2022 other donations of 13,000. So the sum of all those is what adds up to the 148,000 that's currently available. And that's what shows as the cash line that you see there in the first slide there. Can we get the second
May I
slide,
have a
please?
floor?
Yes.
I have a question. Can you specify as well, because the 1852 Foundation is not only, the money does not belong only to 1852. Some of the funds that we're receiving under the 1852 Foundation nonprofit, it belongs to the school sites. Is that correct? And that's reflecting the budget, part of this budget, right?
Yes. Yeah. And I believe there's an amount there of about 4,132 that's specific to, I believe, is Fremont Athletics, and that's what's in that line. Correct.
Thank you. It's just for point of record, so everybody will know. Thank you.
Yes. So on the next slide, it should be the revenue gains and other support. And this is just the summary of it. You can see that through September 30th, 2022, there was a total of 129,776.89. And again, that's covering the periods that I mentioned from 6/30/2021 through 6/30/2022, and then through 9/30/2022. The expenses have been very limited to about $894. The net of the two is 128,000, which then shows a net change from the beginning balance of 81,000 back in 2021 to 210,000, which is what we're reviewing today. The next slide, please. This slide here shows a summary of donations received from 2017, 2018 year through 2023. And you can see the donations from employees, et cetera, is 127,000. The restricted employee amounts is 16,000. The sum of the two is 143,000 of donations received through 9/30/2022. Next slide, please. This last page shows a little bit more detail of donations that have been received through this fiscal year. And you can just, in the previous slide, I kind of mentioned the summary, by column. I mentioned, employee donations and other donations by summary and fiscal year. But this particular slide shows all the detailed donations from 2017 through 2023. And you can see the total amount again is 143,939 with 80 cents. So just to summarize the available, and going back to the first slide, the available cash balance at this point is 210,000. It's comprised of Bank of Stockton checking and Community Foundation investment at this point of 62,000. The addition of the two is $210,610.
Did anybody have any questions for Mr. Gutierrez?
Thank you. Greatly appreciate it being on top of this for all these years. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much for your presentation. Since no other questions. Thank you, sir. Thank you,
you.
Mr. Willie Gutierrez. Now, if we want to discuss this, or anybody wants to discuss about this item? Here none, we're going to move to the next one. It's item 3.1, adjourn. Abby will read the announcement. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everybody, for coming to the 1852 Foundation meeting. Thank you.
The 1852 Foundation Board of Directors Annual Meeting is now adjourned. The regular board meeting will start at 5 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The board meeting will start at 5. Good afternoon and welcome to our board meeting today, October 11, regular board meeting in the Stock Unified District. Item 1, call the meeting to order. Abby will read the sentence under public contents.
Board meeting protocols. The safety and decorum of the school board meetings are important to Stockton Unified School District and the community. SUSD promotes the public's right to free speech, and we want to make sure that all community members, parents, and students are able to participate in a safe environment. We want to ensure all community members have a seat during the board meeting. We will have the maximum number of chairs allowed per Fire Code 132. We ask that members of the public do not stand along the side of walls or block the walkway. Anyone standing up during the meeting will be asked to take a seat. If they do not comply, they will be asked to leave. Any accredited news media representative who is standing will have a press credential clearly visible. The podium is positioned in front of the first row of chairs. No one other than the person who is speaking may be at the podium except for a guardian, administrator, or translator. For safety, people may not line up behind the speaker to wait their turn. We want to give the person at the podium the time and respect they deserve. Each speaker will be allowed 3 minutes. Attendees are not allowed to enter the area past the podium where board members are sitting. No profanity or obscenity. During the board meeting, if there is a disruption, the board president or designee will give a verbal warning to the person or persons causing the disruption. If the disruption continues after the verbal warning, the individual will be asked to leave or be removed from the premises for the remainder of the board meeting. After the meeting is concluded, we ask the community to clear the lobby area in a respectful manner. Thank you.
Thank you, Abby. Item 1.2, roll call taken by Ivy. Back to you.
President Cecilia Mendez,
Present?
Vice President Zulueta,
Present.
Clerk Rico,
Present.
Trustee Maria Mendez,
Present.
Trustee Avalar,
Present.
Trustee McBrien,
Present.
Trustee Flores,
Trustee Flores present?
Student Rep Vanessa Morales.
Present.
Thank you. Back to you, President Mendez.
Thank you, Ms. Abby. Now we go to item 1.3, public comments. Yvette will read the announce or the number of public comments. Back to you, Yvette.
Thank you, Madam President. At this time, we have 0 comment cards. Back to you.
Thank you. Now we go item 1.4, student board representative report by student representative Ms. Vanessa Morales. Back to you, Mrs. Vanessa Morales.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I want to start off with Franklin High School. Our monthly coffee hours, as well as parent trainings, have been in high attendance from parents. Franklin's newly hired community assistant started today with plans to help teachers and staff communicate with students. Franklin has recently hired a bilingual teacher's assistant, as well as 90 Franklin High School students have completed the 90-minute county suicide prevention training at Franklin. The girls volleyball team has senior night this Thursday. The volleyball game will be neon themed to increase student involvement. The Franklin Plus team completed a training for elementary plus students, as well as Franklin pre-cal students are learning how to use the new TI Inspire software. At Stagg High School, during Stagg's homecoming, there was a mini carnival with games and food trucks, as well as a petting zoo provided by Stagg's FFA that was enjoyed by students and adults. Stagg will be meeting with a solution tree professional development trainer to refine each department's professional learning communities. So each PLC will be run with fidelity. Stagg will be trained on Share 911 offered by the District Department of Public Safety. On October 21st and 28th, Stagg will be offering 11th and 12th graders students opportunities to take a career exploration test to assist them in becoming college and career ready. At Edison High School, Edison completed a very successful intercession program in which more than 300 students participated, working to improve their grades and recover lost credits. Edison is celebrating its upcoming homecoming festivities this week. Each day, Vikings celebrate the school by engaging in lunchtime activities, spirit celebrations, and a homecoming rally this Thursday at 1:30 p.m. Edison students have participated in several field trips, including the Building Trades and Construction Fair, visits to Delta College, California universities, and colleges, and have recently hosted UC Merced and Cal Poly on the Edison campus. Edison has partnered with UC Davis to provide the Social Science Department training in differentiating and improved instruction for EL students. Edison recently hosted students and parents with its Avid College Night, as well as Edison counselors and administrators have begun a successful implementation of attendance intervention with students in need of more support to get to school more consistently and on time. Edison has created several goals for attendance improvement. That is all that I have today. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And right now, my vice president is going to take over because I really wanted to come and see Mr. Anderson. Thank you. You take over, Vice President.
Yes, ma'am. Next up, we're gonna have 1.5, student honoree, Miss Nevaeh Tahoud of Edison High School, and Mr. Chris Anderson, the principal, is gonna come up to announce her. Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be with you today. Unfortunately, our student representatives weren't able to make it. One is on the way, but she can't get here until 5:15. So if she does come in, if you do have time, she would love to present a report to you. But I would like to, again, thank you for being here. Superintendent Miller, our board president, Mendez, thank you for hosting us again. It's always a pleasure to talk to the board and share with you what's happening at Edison High School. As you've heard previously, through our board, through our report. And I want to make sure that we actually highlight our student representative. She did an amazing job. I think that goes unrecognized a lot of times. But I wanted to share with you all the things that are happening at Edison High School. Well, I think it's more relevant when a student presents this. Hopefully we do have some things that she can say when she gets here. But I do want to apprise you of some of the goals that Edison High School is experiencing. It has been an interesting couple of years coming back from COVID. And I think you all know the trials and tribulations that our families and our students have experienced, getting back on track. What I can say is over the last couple of years, Edison has been making strides to recover what we kind of lost in that year from COVID. I think we're making tremendous strides in getting the culture of soul bikes. And that's kind of what we refer to ourselves, soul bikes, all the time. Because our students, as things fall behind me, our students exemplify the utmost soul that they can provide in their 4 years of high school. I would like to invite every one of you to visit our campus as soon as and often as you can to see what's happening on our campus. While we do have our problems from day to day, getting students on track and making sure that they're passing their classes, what you will see is an active and engaged student body, one of the most amazing faculties you're ever going to meet in your life. And I'd also like to make sure that this isn't a credit to the person standing in front of you. It's to a credit of everybody that works in this district to provide the support to make sure that Edison High School is successful. So while we try to meet our goals, we implore that we work with you hand in hand to make sure that we have those supports to make sure that we can achieve the goals for our students. I'd like to say that I appreciate every one of you for being here and listening to the things I have to say. As a representative of Stockton Unified, I've been here for 23 years. My whole professional teaching and administrative career has existed in Stockton Unified. I think with the culture and the community that exists with Stockton, we can be as successful as anybody. Thank you for being here tonight with us.
Yeah.
Principal Anderson, just want to say thank you so much for all of your hard work at E-House. And I know that's a very special place. I started my career not so well, many years ago at E-House. So congratulations, Mr. Anderson.
All right, and next we're going to move over to 1.6, public employee discipline dismissal release. Dr. Lipton, do we have anything there?
Trustee Zulueta, no, there's nothing for that item.
All right, thank you. And then 1.7 is actually myself, and I'll go ahead and announce the closed session items listed on our closed session agenda now. First off is 2.1, public employee appointment certificated, leave of absence, resignation, retirement, appointment, ratification. 2.2, public employee appointment classified, leave of absence, resignation, retirement, rescind employment offer, appointment. 2.3, conference with labor negotiator. 2.4, public employee discipline dismissal release. 2.5, conference with legal counsel existing litigation. 2.6, conference with legal counsel anticipated litigation. 2.7, counsel anticipated litigation. And 2.8, student expulsions. Thank you, Madam President. Back to you.
Thank you, Vice President. And 1.8, recess to close session. Thank you. Good afternoon and welcome. Item 3.1, reconvene to public section. Item 4.1, pledge of allegiance to the flag. It will be by Dr. Susana Ramirez, Intern Assistant Superintendent, Educational Service. Back to you, Savannah. Thank you, Dr. Susana Ramirez, Intern Superintendent, Educational Service. Item 4.2, action taken in closed session is going to be given by Vice President Raymond Zuleta. Back to you, sir.
Thank you, Madam President. The first item, item 2.1, motion to approve employee appointment certificated. Motion passes 5-1 no, which is trustee Flores, and 1 abstain, trustee Maria Mendez. Next up, there is a item 2.2, a motion to approve employee appointment classified without the acting director of facilities position. Motion carries 4-1 no, trustee Flores, and 2 abstains, trustees Maria Mendez and Clerk Rico. Up next, item 2.4, public employee discipline dismissal release. There's a motion to release a probationary classified employee. That motion carries 4-0 to 3 abstains. The 3 abstains were trustees Flores, Maria Mendez, and Clerk Rico. Next up, there's item 2.5, a motion to respond to the complaint in the CSCA 821 PERB case. Motion carries 6-0 to 1. Trustee Flores abstained. Item 2.6, a motion to reject a claim of Alicia Bills. Motion carries 6-0 to 1. Trustee Flores abstained. Motion to reject the claim of Nicholas Fortney. Motion carries 6-0-1. Trustee Flores abstained. Motion to reject the claim of Ariana Campuzano. Motion carries 6-0 to 1. Trustee Flores abstained. Next, motion to reject the claim of Jonathan Kuna. Motion carries 6-0 to 1. Trustee Flores abstained. There is a motion to reject the claim of Carlos Zuniga. Motion carries 6-0 to 1. Trustee Flores abstained. Back to you, Madam President. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice President Zuleta. Item 4.3, order the agenda. Yvette will read the oral announcements.
Thank you, Madam President. This is the opportunity for the Board of Trustees to make any changes to the order of agenda. Otherwise, the order of agenda will be as published. Back to you, Madam President.
Madam President, I'd like to pull item 7.1. And then I also,
I will second that.
I want to pull item 13.2. And the reason why is I think we just need to look at organizationally what it looks like to bring on a new, number 13.2, just organizationally in terms of our structure. What does it look like for a director to have an EA3 and do others have that EA3? And I think that that's information that we could bring in and look at like financial implications of what that looks like. I love the idea of having Mr. Omlin as a director. I don't see our other directors having an executive assistant 3. And I think that might just look a little weird for us. So I want to go ahead and pull that and have it brought back with some additional information if possible. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else have any more comments? Everybody who agrees, say aye.
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 Motion unanimous. Now we're gonna go.
Madam President, just a point of order. I just want to make sure I do announce with Trustee Flores did have to leave our meeting. She left at 5:59 p.m. just for the record. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Item 5.1, oral suggestions. Yvette will read the oral announcements by public comments. Back to you, Yvette.
Thank you, Madam President. I do have 8 public comments, and one of the comments originally was for this section, but because item 7.1 has been pulled from the agenda, I will hold that comment card till the end for non-agenda related items. So individual speakers shall be allowed 3 minutes to address the board. The board shall limit the total time for public input on each item to 20 minutes. So the first comment is pertaining agenda item 6.13, and it comes from Mr. Jerry Gonzalez.
Good evening. I'm asking that 6.13 be moved to, I guess you call it an action item for open discussion. Because we keep hearing at every meeting, the STAG electrical system is being fixed. And that during the break, it was supposed to have been fixed and it's still on the agenda. And the other thing I found kind of odd is that on the report, it has Armando Orozco as having written the report. I don't even know if he's still working with the district or not. He hasn't been around lately. So that's all. I just was wondering if you could move it to action. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez.
The next 4 comments pertain to agenda item 6.26. And so first we will hear from Miss Diane Vigil. And I will set my 20-minute timer here. And the 3-minute timer will be on the big timer. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Diane Vigil, and I am the BEA chairman for the Greater Stockton Chamber of Commerce, past president of the Chamber of Commerce, and currently hold the position of workforce development chair for San Joaquin County. I am here tonight because I do believe that employers, economies, and communities benefit when it has an educated and skilled workforce. I believe that in part, apprenticeship programs have gained ground because our business community is asking for skilled workers and credentialed persons partnerships work, which we know from the Health Careers Academy. As a founding member of that Health Careers Academy, I'm really proud of how the community has worked together with employers, and our hospitals are big employers, and the school to make sure that we have a healthy workforce. And the BEA has been really instrumental in making sure that we do the mock interviews, which are really a lot of fun. One of my favorites was having to tell a young man that he needs to take a shower. And those things are important. And I think that when they hear that from somebody in the community in a caring way, that it's really helpful. And, you know, to be able to counsel with them, to let them know what employers are looking for. These partnerships are truly important. And also the quarterly breakfasts that we held were good for building those partnerships between, we would have city council members, we would have health educators, and then we would have educators from all our school, from Stockton Unified School District, as well as business people. And we were able to interact and talk and hear about new programs that are taking place. I'm just going to give a brief over. We had a couple of people that made some comments that couldn't be here this evening. And there's Patrick Burgos, who's the Rancho San Miguel hiring manager. The BEA program helped me put in communication with a demographic that I couldn't normally reach when I do hiring events at my store's locations, teenagers in high school. The staff that works with employers like myself are always helpful and friendly and really care about bridging the gap between applicants and employers. Secondly, Joel Blankenship, teacher at Weber Institute of Applied Science and Technology. The annual mock interview conducted by the BEA for the Weber Institute is a meaningful, hands-on experimental learning opportunity that has been extremely beneficial for our students. Weber students have walked away feeling better about their ability to showcase their acquired skills in high school, and time's up. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much for your comment.
Next, we will hear from Mr. Tim Quinn.
Well, thank you. My name is Tim Quinn. I'm the CEO of the Greater Stockton Chamber of Commerce. The Greater Stockton Chamber of Commerce has a great relationship with Stockton Unified School District, and we're hopeful to continue our 20-plus year relationship with the Business Education Alliance Program and SUSD. When employers and educators work together to understand each other's needs and requirements with the goal of improving educational outcomes, everybody wins. Whether our young people go on to college or directly into the workforce, the required core skills are the same. Academic achievement, soft skills, ability to learn and communicate, interpersonal and group skills, and problem solving. Without these, our youth will not find successful careers and employers will not have the high quality personnel needed to compete in the marketplace. Through our over 860 member businesses, we are easily able to connect the community businesses to the business community to the schools. We can get stakeholders in the room together to talk about these issues facing our students and issues facing our employers and come up with solutions. We can help save Stockton Unified teachers, counselors, principals time on connecting with the right people from the right industries. Who better to help build and shape a qualified workforce than the local businesses themselves? I also have a couple quotes here from people who couldn't make it today. Jason Swartz with Haggerty Construction says, Haggerty Construction is a locally owned and operated business in Stockton. We would like to express our full support of the relationship between the Stockton Unified School District and the Stockton Chamber of Commerce to continue to implement the Business Education Alliance. In the past, Haggerty has teamed up with Franklin High School's Career Technical Education Program and has agreed to host students as interns. We have them come up with a plan that promotes our plan, prepare, produce, and present model, where students initially get an introduction to the company and a tour of some of our job sites. The program concludes with a field trip to see a variety of our projects. And then they also have the opportunity to show students the careers available in construction and their industry, which they can earn a living wage in our community. So during this time of unknown, we are having a hard time finding qualified individuals to fill positions with our organization. And the BEA helps create early work opportunities for youth in career technical education to help youth achieve their employment goals and to help build a future workforce. And then lastly here, Jeff Gilbert and Chad Sublett, owners and partners with Verve IT. Verve IT is a locally owned and operated technology support business in Stockton with 15 years of service to the community. We would like to express our support for the partnership of the memorandum of understanding between the Chamber and SUSD for the BEA. Jobs and technology will grow in importance in the coming years and afford individuals living wages without leaving our community. The BEA allows businesses to become champions and supporters for SUSD schools, which helps students to explore career pathways. In closing, you never know what's going to reach a student in particular. It could just be something as simple as seeing someone who looks like them, come and talk to them to show them that, you know, that the profession is a viable opportunity. So we urge your support in this matter. Thank you, guys.
Thank you for your comment.
Next comment is from Ms. Kay Rustaller.
Good evening, trustees and Interim Superintendent Miller. Good to see you. I'm Kay Rustaller, the CEO of Family Resource and Referral Center, community-based organization, and the current president for the board of the Greater Stockton Chamber of Commerce. And I'm here too to urge your support for the MOU between Stockton Unified and the Chamber for the Business Education Alliance. As a member of the Chamber for 38 years, our organization stands at the ready to support Stockton Unified teachers and school counselors with 211, which is a dedicated phone line with the sole purpose of increasing access to health and human and disaster recovery services. We're also standing at the ready to be a champion of schools and do whatever we can to help. I really believe, in my experience, BEA has allowed very creative discussions between various industries and the district to create opportunities for young people. And I also want to make a comment. This is from Deetra Canoli. Deetra was a past Business Education Alliance chairperson and past president in the chamber. She's a current business owner, former president of the Record. As a former chairperson for the BEA, she said firsthand the importance of the collaboration between business and education communities. With graduation rates below standards, she believes it's critical for our children to understand there are a number of pathways to success with a high school diploma. When traditional college is not an option, the programs offered through the BEA assist in addressing that issue. BEA links students with the business community through internships, job training, interview preparation, the mock interviews that were mentioned, mentoring programs, and in establishing goals and understanding how to operate in a professional environment. In addition, it creates educational opportunities via the seminars with construction trades, healthcare, manufacturing, and entrepreneurial programs. As we navigate the post-pandemic environment, BEA will be even more critical, equipping children with the skill set needed for school to career options. And it can provide a sense of community for students, as well as the opportunity for them to create and contribute to a more vibrant local business community. We really appreciate your time and support. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comment.
The next comment is also pertaining to agenda item 6.26, and it's from Mr. Paolo Enriquez.
A breakdown of costs shows that the bulk of this $98,000 contract with the local Chamber of Commerce would go to paying salaries, $58,000 to be exact, which is more than half of the contract. In exchange, GSCC is supposed to provide motivational speeches, mock interviews for some students, and things that don't really seem to warrant such a hefty price tag. The Students Win program utilizes unpaid internships, which is wrong on basic grounds of fairness because everyone, including students, deserve to be paid for the work they do. There aren't any numbers on how many students actually participate in each of the programs, so it's unclear how many of the city's youth are actually benefiting from this public-private partnership. I'd like to know if there's any follow-up with students once they've graduated to see if participation in things like the Student Workforce Internship Network Program actually translates into employment. I'm also curious to hear how student satisfaction is measured with these programs. Do they give feedback about their experience through evaluations? And if so, do the majority of students find their experience to be beneficial? It appears that much of the money in this contract will not directly benefit students. It's going to photocopies, telephone, an office lease of $7,200, et cetera. GSCC has a membership of 860 businesses. They are not strapped for cash. Why aren't they paying for these things themselves? It seems like a really good deal for GSCC. I'm just not sold on it being a great deal for students and the district. And if you see in the MOU, it says the total amount, $98,000, but it doesn't specify exactly how that will be paid out. Will it be paid, in installments over the course of the contract? And I think that was one of the criticisms of the grand jury report was that, you sign these contracts, you make these agreements, but you don't really specify in the contract how those payments are going to be paid out. So thank you.
Thank you for your comment.
The next comment is also from Mr. Paolo Enriquez, and it's pertaining to agenda item 9.1.
So if you scroll down to page 15 of the red line PDF document, you'll see the section for corrective actions, which says that, quote, for complaints involving retaliation or unlawful discrimination, harassment, intimidation, or bullying, appropriate remedies that may be offered to the victim may include, but are not limited to, the following. And then it lists things like counseling, academic support, health services, assignment of an escort to allow the victim to move safely about campus, information regarding available resources and how to report similar incidents of retaliation, and so on. But on page 16, you've removed a, quote, determination of whether any past actions of the victim that resulted in discipline were related to the treatment the victim received and described in the complaint. So I'm curious, why is this no longer going to be offered as a remedy to victims, and who is spearheading this change? I understand that departments work in consultation with each other and with legal counsel before bylaws and regulations are brought forward on the agenda. But who was the person who got the ball rolling on this? Who specifically thought the language here needed to be revised? In the past few months, there have been other modifications made to complaint procedures. And the reason that's often given is that these revisions will streamline the process for the backlog of complaints the district has received. And if that's the case here, I find it troubling that in order to speed through the complaints, what you're sacrificing, what you're putting on the chopping block is one of the remedies that was previously afforded to victims. And that's also why it's important for Tracy Miller and anyone else with knowledge about it to name names and point out all the people who initiated the revisions and participated in crafting policies like this. It's not acceptable to give vague responses like the staff or so-and-so departments, or to conveniently feign memory loss, because we need to know who to hold responsible. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment.
The next comment is pertaining agenda item 11.2 and 11.3, and it's from Mr. Jerry Gonzalez.
Good evening again. So you got $280,000 more in consultants. Again, I ask, I see this as a result of some of the decisions that the board has made in recent months, years. You hire underqualified people, inexperienced superintendent and his soldiers, including HR and facilities. So now you're hiring consultants to do the work that if you had screened properly in the first place, you probably would have had competent people doing this work and not needing to spend $280,000. So it just keeps bleeding. I just don't get it. That's it. I've got nothing more to say. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment.
Madam President, I'm not feeling
Yes.
good at all. Because I actually, my family members barely came back from out of state for the family funeral. So I'm like, I have a really bad migraine right now.
You
Thank
can go
you.
home. Thank you, Ms. Maria Mendez. Thank you. You can be excused. Thank you.
The last comment card was from Mr. Jerry Gonzalez, and it was pertaining 13.1 and 13.2. 13.2 was pulled from the agenda. So I don't know if Mr. Gonzalez still wants to hold that comment till non-agenda items, but 13.1.
So, hello again. So with regard to 13.1, you have a new position as the director. And on July 26th, I believe it was, you had an agenda item about hiring an executive assistant for the recently rehired position for Mr. Umlin. And so that went away. Mr. Zuleta asked that you revisit, but now you come back with a new director and an assistant, which I know is not on the agenda. But we're talking about an extra $33,000 to $40,000 for this new position. So I find it interesting that it wasn't important and his position was basically eliminated, what, a year and a half ago? And now you bring him back and now you want to have a higher paid position. All I ask is that when you do go through this process, if you do decide to create this new position, that you go through the same procedures that you would for any other and open it up for interviews and screening. I'm sure he's highly qualified. He'll probably get the job, but follow those policies, please. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment.
Madam President, that concludes open session comments. Back to you.
Thank you. Now we have 6.1 approval consent items. I need a first and a second.
I'll first.
Madam President, can we, I know it's gonna take a couple extra minutes, but can we pull all right, sorry, 6.13 to action, like Mr. Gonzalez asked. I'm sure we know the answer, but I don't mind hearing it again from our staff on why we're continuing the emergency authorization.
Anything else? And none? We have a first and a second. Everybody who agrees, say aye.
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 Mr. Scott? You're gonna move 613 to action? We're gonna do,
I'll do the first for 613.
thank you. Second. Discussion?
Can we, Dr. Miller, can we have one of the like whoever's here that could answer for this? I know Mr. Orozco's not here, but can we get just an update on this? I know it says on 613 that the part was supposed to come in on September 7th. We received it and installation was scheduled for last week. Do we have an update on that?
Yeah, Miss Joanne?
It was PG&E that couldn't shut off the power. And so they're investigating it to see when they can shut off the power for us to fix this.
And then for next board meeting, can we just bring an update, like how long that's going to take, what that looks like? Even if they have some documentation to help us out. I know the public is really concerned about this one.
Okay, I will.
Thank you.
Thank you. Everybody to agree to these items, say aye.
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 Thank you. Motion passed, unanimous. Now we go to 9.1, approval second reading to revise administration regulation AR 132.3, uniform complaints. I need a first and a second.
I'll first.
I'll do the second.
Any discussions?
Can we have, I mean, I know that there was a question from the community. If we have an answer, could we have it? If not, I mean, we can continue to move forward. I don't mind.
Ms. Sharon Wamble?
Thank you, Mrs. Chair.
Any of the changes that are redlined or documented or added are based on the California School Board Association's recommendations to follow the guidelines of what basically the California School Board Association recommends. Any other changes were based on also just our address. We've changed since the last time it was updated, our location, our school address, constituent services. And instead of putting somebody's name there, so we don't have to change it in the event that, the position changes again, then it just says constituent services, here's the contact information, and it doesn't have a person's name assigned to that.
Thank you. That's what I assumed, but I appreciate you standing up and giving us that answer.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for coming to the podium. Everybody who agree, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes unanimous. Now we had 9.2, action, approval second reading to revise exhibit A, E 1312-4, William Uniforms Complaint Procedures. I need a first and a second.
I'll do the first.
We have first and second discussion. Here none. Get ready for the vote. Everybody who agrees, say aye.
Aye.
Motion is unanimous. Motion passed. Now we go to 10.1, board committee reports. And the first one will be the City of Stockton Parks and Recreation, and it's by Vice President Raymond Zuleta.
Thank you, Madam President, and good evening, everyone. Our next meeting for Parks and Rec is scheduled for actually Halloween, so the 31st. I do not think we're going to end up having that one. I think what's going to end up happening is most people are going to participate in trunk or treat or something else on that day. So I anticipate that meeting being moved, and as soon as I figure out what that day is, I will update you. And then hopefully we'll know about that by the 25th, which is going to be our next meeting. So I'll have updates for that then. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice President Zuleta. Now, the next one is San Joaquin County School Boards Association Executive Committee, and that is our also Vice President Raymond Zuleta.
And so last week on Wednesday, there was a all trustees meeting. I didn't get the opportunity to go there. There's kind of a lot going on. But they haven't scheduled our next meeting for our CSBA. Normally we have them on like the third Wednesdays, but because of last week's meeting, they're moving them around. So I'll also update us on those when that new agenda comes out. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice President Solera. Now, the next one is the 3x3 committee, and our meeting is gonna come in, in the month of December. We're still setting up the day. Thank you. I will keep you posted. 1852 Foundation Committee, and this is gonna be our Scott Brian.
All right, so we look to holding another meeting probably in December, and that's expected. And then for today, I was very late and tied up. So I think Ms. Mendez, could you go ahead and provide some information on that?
Yes, and the meeting on 1852, it was fabulous. It was, right, we talk about money that we have, and also the presentation was given today to everybody here. So everybody who was here early at 4:30 have the opportunity to do it. The money that we have, we're gonna keep you posted for the next meetings so everybody can come in and show up. And that way the schools will have an opportunity to request money from the 1852 to do great things with the children like we always do. Thank you. We had 10.2 brief reports of trustees activities, and I'm gonna go from my left, and the first one will be Scott Brian.
Thank you. School out, I didn't do much last week. However, I did get the great pleasure of working a little bit with my wife who was in Oklahoma. I had to take care of the home, and as she was in Oklahoma, she was working with the Native American population, Destiny Viva. And they were over there with others, looking at what we can do to assist Native Americans and to promote culture, bring that culture to life here in our own community. And I can tell you there were some great things happening there.
Thank you, Mrs. Scott Brian. The next one will be Alicia Rico, our clerk.
Good afternoon. Thanks for being here today again. Okay, so the week before we went to break, I visited some of my sites. And I'm so happy to announce that we have full noon duties already on one of my sites because we was short. We only had 3 at the beginning of the year. So now we have full. And also, I don't want to sound like I always complain because it's not who I am to be complaining. But I just wanted to let it know to the community that I received a message 3 days ago. And I'm in shock because this message stated that as a board members, we are so stupid because we can see the fact that this social media is attacking the district because they planning to finish or to end the public education to our students and open only charter schools. So hopefully this is not true. Because if it's true, oh my God, it's breaking my heart. My students is gonna be, I don't know where. I don't have nothing against charter schools, but many other students who is taking public educations, they can't afford charter schools. They can't. Thank you.
Thank you, Alicia Rico. Vice President Raymond Solera.
Good evening again, everyone. I just want to say welcome back from fall break. I know that a lot of our staff, families, and students, they really appreciated having the break. Over the last week, I saw quite a few just families out and about throughout the city, just enjoying the different, things that are going on and the weather. And so I just want to say welcome back. Thank you for being here tonight. And I look forward to, just continuing to be out in the community. I've been attending quite a few like football games, Pop Warner games, just making sure that I have an opportunity to be present in the community and to be available outside of board meetings, because sometimes we forget that, we're not just trustees, we're regular people too. And, we all come here with a desire to support our community and to, do the best that we can in public service. And so though that always doesn't come across, it's something that I live with every day. And so I try to make sure that I'm, present and active in the community in as many ways as possible. Thank you all for being here this evening. It's good to see you again.
Thank you, Vice President Zuleta. My name is Cecilia Mendez. Everybody knows who I am. I'm a board member. I received some very interesting information and emails and text messages. And to be honest, everybody have the freedom of speech. But you have to understand, I support public education and I do support great charter schools. But remember, you guys, everybody who's here, work with the union. I'm a union supporter. What unions want, I always support. My vote is right there. It is a rumor. Then our district is, they want people make an example, then our district is gonna be taking over. If it is, remember, the unions more than ever needs to stick together because when something like this happens, everybody gets hurt. Everybody's gonna get hurt. Not just the board members, everybody who works in the district. So I just wanna thank you for the hard work that you guys have done, but remember, everybody gets hurt, everybody loses. So I'm not afraid for whatever, anybody who send me text messages or follow me or anything, they know then I have to call the police. Like I said it before, if you wanna get to know me, call me, make an appointment. Do not follow me in the dark. It is not right. I already placed a police report and I will press charges. This is wrong. Nobody deserves this. No matter even a public citizen don't deserve this. Thank you very much for your time. Also, I wanted to let you know, then I went to have a great meeting with the delegates of California, Region 8. And I give them really good news. Then we are public solvent. Then our money is here. And everybody in Region 8 in California knows that all this information that it was giving, it was malicious and wrong. So the delegates in California, they are fully aware. I was there, and I was not alone. Many people from Tracy were there, and they were very happy. Thank you for your time and your cooperation. Let's work together to achieve our children's dream. Thank you. Mr. Zachary.
No report today. Thank you.
Thank you. Now the next one is 10.3, approval of minutes, September 27, 22, board meetings. I need a first and a second.
I'll do the first.
I'll second.
We got a first and a second. Any discussion about the meetings, minutes? Thank you. Everybody who agrees, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passed unanimous. Now we have 11.1 superintendent report. Back to you, Mrs. Miller. Thank you.
Good evening. We are at the beginning of second quarter, and I hope that everyone was able to take a few days off and recharge and refresh. As we are quickly and rapidly into second quarter, it'll be Thanksgiving, then Christmas. Before we know it, we have much to be proud about. One of our district goals includes decreasing chronic absenteeism, and I'm happy to report that we are continuing to see a drop in our chronic absenteeism rate. We have decreased it by 13.89% from last year. We are waiting on the PLUS survey data to look at our engagement factors. They're going to be due here in any day here. And I know that our campus staff folks are working diligently to ensure that the purple line growth mindset is being practiced daily. We have reclaimed 148 little ones who have re-enrolled back in Stockton Unified with over nearly 900 home visits. September was, as you know, School Attendance Awareness Month, and there were many campuses had events all across our district regarding our efforts to improve student attendance, and we are seeing the fruits of that labor. I wish that Mary Rogers and her team were here. I know Francine Baird. We have much to be proud about with our ELOP, our expanded learning opportunities program. While many of us were taking time off, we had 9 sites that were up and running during fall break with 480 students participating. The fall break was spent building relationships with students and parents in our district. The staff reported that students played games, danced, learned about space, lots of hands-on projects. And one of the highlights, which I got to experience in this boardroom when it first came, was our Star Lab digital planetarium dome, a giant thing that kids get to lay on the ground and see the stars. So it's pretty cool stuff. I know that we are also working diligently with with Marcus Almlin and his staff. One of the things we did right before fall break is we are working to see what we can do about Franklin High School. Any of you have been there, that street, I'm drawing Gertrude, I think it is. We're working to see if we can get that street closed during the school day so that our campus can remain, be safer. And then lastly, we have Stagg High School is going to be having their Youth Speaks this event this Friday. So we're certainly looking for that. And lastly, flu clinics begin tomorrow. So check our websites and consider getting flu shots. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Tracy Miller, Superintendent. Thank you. Now we have 11.2 approval agreement to perform consultant service to 3 group for the human resource services. I need a first and a second.
I'll do the second.
Thank you. Human resources have experienced changes in management. Duties have been divided among the assumed, and they're working very hard. The management needs help and the staff. They need the leadership support and mentoring, but among the human resources needs our help. And that this item is for help. Anybody have any more comments?
I just got a question. Dr. Miller, do we have an opportunity, and I'm sure it's for the next one to the second one. Have we checked in just with the unions? I know that from time to time, they have concerns about the people that we bring forward or that are brought forward through the process. And so I think that this might have been in response to something like that.
So I'm happy to report that, yes, I did with the H&M. I'm sorry, not H&M, M and that one. Yeah, there we go. H&M, not the store, M&O. There we go. Yes, I did.
Thank you. Any more questions?
No, thank you.
Thank you, everybody. To agree, say aye.
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 Thank you. Motion passed. Now we go to 11.3, approval and agreement for Sonos consultant service to 3 group for facilities department. We need a first and a second.
I'll do the first, or I'll do the second.
Thank you. Any discussion in this item? Here none.
Same thing, Dr. Miller. Thank you.
Thank you. Everybody who agrees, say aye.
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 Thank you. Now, the next one is 12.1, ratification of agreement for Sonic Consultant Services with the San Joaquin Office of Education for the Language Department Office. I need a first and a second.
I'll do the first.
I'll second.
Any discussion in this item?
I just, want to make a note, with the amount of money that goes into this, and it's saying SJCOE receives from the state on behalf of the district, $479,333, excuse me, on behalf of us. And that's just for a 1-year term. And so for me, that's millions of dollars when you look over 3 years, 5 years, and then some. We have consistent concerns about our students in EL, consistent concerns about our students that are migrants, consistent concerns about our students and the access to education that they're receiving. And so for myself, though I know this says it doesn't cost us, it does cost us. And that money does come to SJCOE on behalf of the district. And it's a significant amount of money. Their offices are not as big as ours. Their school sites, they don't have as many of them. And And so when you talk about almost $500,000, that funds a lot of jobs over there. That funds a lot of people that, for me, myself, I think that our students and our families, they're better served with us, especially when we see the outcomes that are coming. However, I understand why this is being brought today. Thank you.
Thank you. Everybody who agrees, say aye. Aye.
No.
4-1.
No.
Motion fails.
I wa-
3-2.
I
This
want
is
to,
for the language department.
I want to clarify.
Okay, yes, please. Can you do that, please?
Yes, good evening. Thank you for your great questions. What I want to clarify is that the county office is the fiscal agent and has oversight. The funds actually do come to the district. The way that it works is the county office applies to the U.S. Department of Education on behalf of the district. The funds come in and they sit at the county office, and then they reimburse us for the usage in the district. We utilize these funds to fund a parent liaison in our district, an instructional specialist, materials and supplies, our parent migrant meetings. So I just wanted to clarify that the county office is the fiscal agent, and we do receive the funds in the way of reimbursement. So we do upfront the funds, submit an invoice through the fiscal services to the county office of ed, and then they send us a check.
So this is for our students.
So yes, this money comes directly. They do get a cut off the top because they are a fiscal agent. But I just wanted to clarify that.
Anybody would like to change their vote? This is
That
for the
has-
English learners.
That has impact. It takes a while to process this. In other words, they are in charge of the money, but we are getting paid for almost everything except a managerial fee. Is that somewhat correct?
Yeah, it's a 10% that they get off the top. And they actually apply for all of the districts in our region. And so it's for the oversight, the management. Unfortunately, we can't apply directly to the U.S. Department of Education, but we do receive the funds.
So if we turn them down here, we might be turning down all of the services. Is that
Yes, it
correct
is.
as well?
Yes,
Yes,
if
sir, Mr.
we-
Scama, Brian.
If it doesn't pass, then we will have to deny the funds,
And we will not get funding, correct?
not for this.
All
year.
right, so I will change my vote. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Scama, Brian. Motion passes 4-1. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Scama, Ryan, on behalf of the English learners. Thank you. Let me see, I lost it. 13.1, approval, the new possession director, emergency preparedness and response.
I'll do the first.
We have a first and a second discussion. Hearing none, get ready for the vote. Everybody who agrees, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Pass unanimous. 13.2, approval possession. 13.3, approval of the internship memorandum on understanding University of Phoenix, California for the Human Resources Department. I need a first and a second.
I'll do the first.
Second.
We have a first and a second discussion. Hearing none, let's get ready for the vote. Everybody who agrees, say aye.
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 Motion passed unanimous. The next one is 15.1, is student impulsions.
I'll do the first.
I do the second. And
And sorry, I'll motion to approve both at once. Sorry, Madam President.
thank you. And the motion is to approve the both of them, then they're there. Everybody who agrees, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed unanimous. Now, the next one is 16.1, public comments regarding non-agenda items. And that will be Yvette Wanans. Thank you, Yvette.
Thank you, Madam President. Individual speakers shall be allowed 3 minutes to address the board. The board shall limit the total time for public input on each item to 20 minutes. The first item is pertaining to 7.1, and it's from Mr. Jerry Gonzalez.
Well, it's not necessarily a moot point because you're still going to need to get a permanent superintendent in place. But with regard to the search, I just commend the board at the time when you do decide that you are following the procedures and not hiring somebody without the proper process, unlike what was done when you hired the last superintendent and his successor, the superintendent emeritus. So I think, the estimates of those three firms that submitted, I think somewhere in the $40,000 to $60,000 range is a good investment. I would suggest that when you consider any of these firms, find out if they've had any involvement in hiring of past superintendents and find out who they were, because that will reflect upon what their abilities are in helping you find a new superintendent. I would implore you to include that they have a third-party background check for any of the finalists that are being considered, because it seems like in recent history, some of the superintendents that have been hired by Stockton Unified have had some past that later comes out and is not very favorable. And then I'm asking again that you do hold open meetings to involve the public and get their input so that we as a community feel like we're part of the process. Okay, thank you. And that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comment.
The last comment is from Mr. Rafael Cardoza.
Yeah, good evening, board. Thank you for allotting me the time to address you guys. Not really any comments for y'all, just I just want to kind of make some announcements, if you will. Tomorrow, very important meeting, everybody that's here. I challenge you to come. I believe it's tomorrow. Ms. Franco is the chief of police forum. They're not selecting the chief of police, but I believe we get to ask questions and have input, and will we receive input? So I bid anybody that's here that's concerned about our children's safety to please show up to that meeting tomorrow and have some questions ready so we can put a competent person in the chief of police. Not that you're not, you're doing a great job. To put a competent, permanent chief of police, if you will. Again, we have a Native American Day, cracks me up, coming in. We have a whole day to celebrate Native Americans. I just asked that the school please look at an entity known as the Native American Indian Center. This is an entity operated by the Stockton Unified School District. I am Native American, but I am not Indian. I ask that we please somehow change that name. It's very insulting. Columbus came over here looking for Indians, looking for a shorter route to India, found Native Americans, and henceforth called us Indians. We are not Indians, we are Native Americans. So I'd ask somebody to please look in that. There was a presentation given about mock interviews, and a comment was made. I told the person to take a shower. Now that's cool. The program sounds great and everything, just as long as the criticism is put in a constructive manner. You need to take a shower is pretty blunt. Maybe you need to step up on your hygiene, your personal hygiene, if you could work on it, something like that. Still good in premise. The state, people are worried about the state coming in to take over our school. There's another option. Florida just did it. It's called the voucher system. If you guys haven't heard about it, I suggest you look into it. It's a system where, as opposed to the money allotted for our children to go to the school district, we're allowed to take that money and put our kids in whatever school we choose, private, Catholic, whatever school we choose. Let me see what else. for the superintendent selection. Please make the candidates public so that again, the public can do their own discourse and due diligence and research these individuals ourselves in a conjunction with you guys. Okay, let me see what else. STAG. The electricity problem at STAG, I don't even know exactly what it is, but it's been going on for months. And, you know, PG&E hasn't cut off the power so you guys can fix it. I'm not understanding what the holdup is. It messed up my daughter's prom. Let me see. Adhere to the rules. Sorry, we need to adhere to the
Thank you.
rules
Thank you
even
for your
as a
comment.
board, and I
Thank you
know
for
I'm
your
done.
comment.
So please, no food or
Thank you for your
beverages.
comment. Thank you for your comment.
Madam President, we have one more comment from Miss Alyssa Leyva.
Thank you.
My statement goes for action item 9.1, which talks about uniform complaint procedure. Being that I've already come up twice about the Director of Family Resources harassing people on social media, there's a leaked audio of Scott McBrien saying that Motexuma Sanchez was hired in order to smear campaign trustee Flores. And I don't think it's appropriate that a trustee is being recorded to be posted on 209 times to influence voters to vote for his bias. Thank you.
Madam President, that concludes non-agenda items comments.
Thank you. This meeting is adjourned. Have a safe day. Thank you.